హాయ్ అండి, నా పేరు విజయ నిర్మల. జుట్టు పెరగడం మొదలయ్యింది.
వేరుశనగ తీస్తాము, ఆముదం తీస్తాము.
ఊరుగా మన ముందే తయారు చేసి ఇస్తున్నాడు.
Is a CYC CEO, senior entrepreneur.
Backbencher name kuda. Even I came from backbench. ఏ క్లారిటీ లేదు సార్, జాబ్ క్లారిటీ లేదు. మీరు వినపడలా?
Let me explain about your roles and responsibilities in your current organizations, or introduce yourself.
Myself, Camp Sangati, presently having experience of manual testing and automation with 4 years. And my daily activities will include, in the initial stage, reading about the documentation of the project like SRS document, and understanding it and reviewing and preparing the what could be the possible test cases, and will document them, and will forward it to manager or TL. After reviewing the test cases, then we will document them, and we will wait for the developer team to send the bill. Once we receive the bill, we will do test cases based on the test case document, and we will make one report. That is, what are the test case execution report, what are the result, I mean test case failed or passed, and if there is any bug, we will file it as a vigil in test management tool, which will go to the developers. And if the developer will rectify it, we will again do the regression testing and retesting. And after that, we will documenting all the result, which may further useful for the next project, because there may be any improvements that are needed, so or any learnings. So those things will be useful in the next project.
Okay, coming to your automation skills.
Yeah, automation skills. I have learned Selenium, which is based on Java language, and which is with a link with tools like TestNG and Jenkins.
Okay. So, what are the types of testings you are going to be performed in manual?
In the manual, in the initial stage of releasing the build, we will do smoke testing, and after if it is passed, then we will do system testing. If it is failed, then we will return back to the developers, because it's not a stable. Once if the build is a stable one, then we will do sanity test. After that, we will do the system testing, and if there is any bugs report, in that we will do the retesting and regression testing. So mainly, max of 5 testings will be there in the manual test that we're doing regularly in the manual section.
Okay. So, what is the difference between the regression testing and retesting?
Retesting means if there is any bug is identified, and if the developer is rectified it, we only test the whether the bug is I mean rectified or not. That is called retesting. In regression testing, okay, what are the impacted models? Because of that bug rectification, is there any impact on other models? That we will do comes under in the regression testing.
Okay. Okay. And when you are going to perform the sanity testing?
Sanity testing usually after the build becomes somewhat stable compared to initial stage.
In your organization, how you are proceeding the sanity testing?
Basically, we will check the basic functionality of that product. If it is satisfies the basic functionality without any bugs, then it is okay. We can say sanity test is okay.
So what is the difference between the test strategy and test plan?
Uh, Test strategy in the sense it's like before the documenting the what are the things that we are going to do, like what are the strategy. For example, for any project, what are the resources that are required, what are the either manpower or a machinery like a system or software. The test plan means what how to test. In the first case, what to test. In the test plan indicates how to test, like for example Facebook login page, what are the ways to test, what are the tools will be used. So those things will be in the test plan document.
Okay. So what is the difference between the priority and severity?
So related to bug, bug I can say severity means uh, which impacts the business of the customer. Like you can say critical, major, minor, without uh, which indicates the how much business is impacted by that bug. For example, blockers or showstoppers. So with this indication, it indicates that we can't go further with that application. For example, if you take a login page, the primary of the first step is we need to log in to get into a project. But in the initial times, login is failing. So we can say it's a blocker. So it's a indication of so working business flow. But in priority means it's a bug. We are making a priority for that bug to rectify when the developer is going to uh, rectify, because we are tester is indirectly saying that okay, this is the important one, whether it is going to affect the business flow of the customer or not. It's like a high, medium, and low. High means uh, we without this fix we cannot use the main functionality of the project.
Yeah. Okay, moving to the automation side. So, in automations, what are the you have worked with Selenium WebDriver, no?
Yes.
So, in Selenium WebDriver, what are the basic uh, basic architecture of WebDriver? Can you say?
Actually, it is a interface which will interact with the browsers which run on different platforms. So earlier it was run it was interact which was using RC like server base, but nowadays in the latest one it is using W3 architecture.
Okay. So, in TestNG, what are the annotations you have implemented in your organizations or in your project? What are the
Annotations
annotations?
before method, before class, and test by using the frame tag that in the DOM.
So coming to the Java, so what is the difference between the abstraction and interface?
Abstraction is just a definition of the method which don't have any body when without implementation. Interface means it is a inheriting in the properties of the parent to the child.
Okay. So I'm stopping you here.
Yes.
Okay, I will say that answers whatever you have did mistakes. So whenever you are giving the interaction about yourself, be just I will on my video. So okay, whenever you are giving your interaction, just whatever the topics you have covered in your resume. So whenever you are preparing your resume, you have added some highlights points now. Like I'm having experience in manual testing. Then I have moved to the automations. In automations, I have worked with Selenium with WebDriver using Java. And I have worked with the Jira. We have worked with the Jira. So in Jira, it is a test management tool. So Jira is a test management tool. I have used it for writing our test cases and reporting the bugs, and our daily stand-up board is going to be maintained in the Jira. Then I have worked with the TestNG as a reporting tool. In that reporting tools, we are going to be executing our test case parallelly or sequentially. And then I have moved to Jenkins is a continuation integration tools where we are scheduling our test plans as per that time. And main thing GitHub. So GitHub is the main thing where we are. It is a sorry. GitHub is a version control. It is used to push our code and pull our code. And next thing, uh, Maven. So Maven is a built-in tool where we have built up a project, and the Maven repo where we having a pom.xml file. In that pom.xml files where we have added our plugins and dependencies. So this one you have to cover in the interaction part. Next, coming to the difference between the test plan and test strategy. So plan is going to be prepared once, and strategy is going to be implemented based on the test plan. Okay. So test plan is nothing but how to do the total project. So you have taken the example of Facebook. So in that Facebook, what is the budget of that Facebook? How many resource has been needed, and how to implement that one? What are the technical resource we need, like hardware, softwares, what we need, we have to identify. Next, coming to strategy is nothing but strategy is a procedure which we are following. Procedure is nothing but in Facebook, I have to do the login page first, then only have to go to the inbox page, then only have to select the uh, post images, then only have to like the picture. So like that we are following some strategy to implement the project. Okay. Next thing, I have asked you the difference between the retesting, regression testing. You have did correctly. Uh, but give short ones. Don't be elaborate lot of things. Why? Because the uh, interview will not have that much patience to listen the all the things. So be a short. So retesting is nothing but testing a bug. Regression testing is nothing but we have to test that applications whenever we have faced that bug, with this bug whether it is impacting the previously already tested applications or not. So severity and priority. So this one is most important. Severity is nothing but how much it is impacting to my application. So priority is nothing but what order we have to mention. So some bug will be low priority, but that low priority has will become the high priority at the time of release. So for example, I have given a Facebook spelling wrong. I have put Facebook as a B-A-A-O-K. So that spelling is wrong. That severity is very low. It is a GUI. GUI we can it is a only error, but this its priority will become high when it is going to the release. Before release, it is a low priority. Sorry, low severity. So severity is nothing but how much it is impacting. Priority is nothing but in which order we have to resolve it. So high priority has to solve the first. Low priority will has to solve the second. And next question, severity, priority. Uh, when how you are going to perform the sanitary testing? So sanitary testing, when we are going to be performance, when we are getting the bill, first we will perform the sanitary testing. So once the bill is stable, then we will perform the different types of testing. We don't say that we have performed the 5 types of testing. Okay, there are the lot of types of testing, so don't say the number. Okay, we will perform based on the requirement. So sometimes we have to perform only regression testing. Sometimes we have to perform the regression testing, retesting, compatibility testing, testing patterns. We have to implement it. And next thing, mm, sanity testing, when the build is come to the testing team. So first we will perform the sanity testing, like what is the functionality of that one. Basically functional testing we are going to be performing. In that functional testing, what we are going to do is whether that as per there is a no blockers. So functionality, it is working without any issues. If there is any blockers in the sanitary testing, we will retest, we will perform the retesting in that one. We will perform the different types of testing, and we will check the all the scenarios, whatever the scenarios we having in the sanitary testing. We will perform the all the scenarios, then we will move to the different types of testing. So when the bill is coming first time, we will perform the sanitary testing till the first build to the last build.
Yes.
And next thing, so I have moved to WebDriver. So in WebDriver,
Yes.
so WebDriver architecture means basically what is the WebDriver? WebDriver is a web interface. So where it containing the different method, where it is going to supporting the multiple browsers, multiple languages, multiple operating systems. Okay, and it's going to supporting the multiple operating systems. So basically WebDriver will directly interact with the browser. So there will be a language binder and a browser. So between these two things, the WebDriver is directly interacting with the browser. And next thing, how you are going to handling the frames. So I have told you. So to handle the frames, what is the first thing we have to move? We have to move to the frames. So driver dot switch to the frames. So in that one, to handle a frames in the DOM, you can see that name or ID. You can see in these two things. And next thing, what we are going to, next question, what I have asked you. So I have moved to Java. No? So in Java, what is the difference between the abstraction and interface? So you have did totally confused. So abstraction will contains abstract methods and non-abstract methods. So in abstract, we can use extends. So which is going to be satisfying the inheritance concept here. Okay,
Yes.
interface is not going to support, it is not going to inherit. Inherit means we are using the extend key now. So here we are not going to using the extend key, we are implementing the classes where we having only where we having only abstract method. So abstract method means what? A method does not containing any body, is nothing but the abstraction. Okay, so we have to implement that one in the another class. So the body is going to be written in the another class. That's why Java is going to support the multiple inheritance by using the interfaces. Okay. So these many mistakes you have did. Okay, we will continue with the other candidate, Soumya. So I can, sorry,
Thursday test annattu.
your voice is low, ma.
Thursday I will give, ma'am.
Okay, you are not willing to give.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Vedasri, Vedasai, sorry.
Yeah, hi. Actually, name prepare avalle ma'am.
Okay. So, Nino, I will say some interview questions you can prepare, no? Okay. So, interaction part. And sometimes they will ask to explain about your project, kada? So, me resume lo whatever the project you are going to be put, be prepared with that one. So, when they ask you, explain about your project. For example, I have given you some mid port, mid e port, కదా ఈ పోర్ట్ అనేది మీకు ఇచ్చాను. So mid e-port is nothing but it is a health domain project where we are going to maintaining the information related the patient's treatment as well as the administration maintenance. So in this one, I have involved in writing the automation test cases. So manual ga have involved in writing the manual test cases. If you are putting it as an automation experience, you can say that I have involved in automating the test cases. So how you are going to automate the test cases? So basically we will have the test cases in Jira. We will pick the test cases as per our user stories. So based on that user stories, which test case we want to automate it, we are going to be automating the test cases. So for that one, we are going to be following Agile methodology. So in Agile methodology, we are getting some user stories. Based on that user stories, we are automating our test cases. So once we have started working on the test cases, we are going to be moving to in progress. So once we have completed, we will attach the proper screenshot and proper comments, and then we will move to the peer review. So once the review has been completed, then we are going to be closing. If there is any bug, we will raise a defect to the bug. Based on the developer comment, we will decide it to which sprint it has to be. It can be moved to the next sprint or sprint backlog. So here my roles and responsibilities, basically I have involved in automating the test cases. Like once we will get the test cases, we having our framework pattern. So in our framework patterns, where we are going to be taking care of the test data. So I'm going to store all my test data in Excel files, and we are going to writing our scripts in the script folders, and where we are using the preconditions which is needed to be run before running our automation scripts, and we are going to be using some common methods. The common methods can be implemented in the common utilities folder, where we can get we can call in our current script, so that our test methods can be reusable for other scripts. So once we have completed our script, we are going to be adding our test case in the testng.xml file. We will run our test cases. Once it has been successfully run, we will add it in the Jenkins, add our test cases in the regression suite, so that it can be run as per the schedule time in using Jenkins. So this you can explain. So next thing, they can ask you, suppose I found a bug in the productions, which make sure that it should not be repeated. How you are going to resolve this one? So once if your manager asks why this bug has went to the production, so what is your steps? What are the steps you are going to be uh, taken to solve this one, or how you are going to answer this one?
Maybe we will focus more on the manual testing, and we will repeatedly confirm with the automation scripts.
So suppose if you are running the automation suite means, so bug, if it is fail means it is a bug. So it was passed in the automation script. For example, it was passed in the automation script. It was passed in the stage, but it has moved to production. So first, what are the actions you are going to take?
We'll check once with the test case coverages, whether the bug came under our test cases or not. By that we will redefine. I mean, there is a chance we will try to create a case where this bug is bug coverage will be included.
Okay, somewhat it is correct. First thing you have to check why this bug is coming in the production. So whether it was covered in the previous stage environment or not. Suppose if it is not covered, what you have to do, you have to write a new test case for it. If it is covered also still failing, so first you have to find the root cause of it, and analyzing it, whether it is based on the test data it is failing, or based on the time issues it is failing, based on the environment it is failing. You have to analyze it, then you have to fix that one in the next release. So in this release you can't able to it. Why? Because it was went to the release also. So you better you have to say excuse for this release, and in the next release we are going to fix this one compulsory. It should not be repeated in the next sprint. Okay, sometimes the developer will not accept it is a bug. So what how you convince your developer?
I think based on the BRS document and the requirement, whether the bug is, whether it is a feature or is it a bug. Based on that, I can say it's not as per the customer requirement. So we can treat it as a error. I mean, bug.
So sometimes what he said that it was as per in my system it is working correctly, as per customer requirement only it is working in my system correct, but in your system it is not working. So how you convince him?
Maybe there may be a difference in the tools that we are using, maybe versions. So we'll check with the one that whether the environment is same, whether developer is working and testing is working. So based on that, we'll
Yeah,
convey the
correct.
same.
So first thing what you have to do based on the SRS document, you have to check whether it is working correctly or not. Next thing, uh, you have to check the environment version, whether you are both are working in the same environment or not. That is also correct. And the third thing, at which timestamp is also difference. So sometimes it will figure. So you have to send a proper screenshot based on the timestamp, whether it is impacting at particular time zone or not. You have to validate it. Okay. So coming to Java, we having a lot of things. So exception handling. So how you are going to handle your exceptions?
Uh, it's like the exceptions will be came in the runtime, not in the compiling time. So to handle those kind of things, we will use a try-catch block. In that, we will mention the what are the possible errors that are going to be expected. Based on that, we will use the try block, try-catch block. We will be using.
Can you use try without catch?
Yes, we can use
So if you use,
because
but I say it will throw a exception. What type of exception it will throw?
without catch we can't know the which type of exception it is throwing. So I think we need to use
What is the use of
catch
finally? Final, sorry.
fi- final.
Finally. Finally.
Finally means it's a block of code which will execute whether the try-catch block is handling or occurring. So it's going to be executed definitely
Yeah.
without impacting of the handling exception. Like for example, driver close or quite those kind of code will be included in that block.
Having some exception. So int a equals to 2 by 0. I'm using have closed. So I'm using exception arithmetic. So yeah, I'm using. So I'm closing. I'm using finally. Just exit I'm using. So what will be the output for this one?
The output will be E and the exit.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. So I say you are saying that we can. So now what will be the output? So whether it will throw an exception or it will not throw an exception.
we will throw exception. And there is no way to catch that exception.
No. Here, whenever you are using a try finally means finally is also one type of catch only. So I have told you when there is an exception, it will go to the finally block. When there is a no exception also, it will go to the finally block. Nah?
Yes, yes.
So the finally block will, here there is a no catch block. So it will work as a catch block. Finally. So I'm having one loop. So I want to check I equals to 0, I less than I plus plus. I want to check a condition. If I equals to 5, if not equals to 5, sorry, less than, not greater than, I will write it greater than 5, continue. So what will be the output for this one?
It will only print up to 4, and after that it will skip the next code, that is I greater than 5 means up to I is equal to 9. It will continue the for loop rather than executing the below code.
So what will be the output here? 1, 2, 3, 4.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, 0. So here I is greater than 5. So in the next iteratives, I will become the 6. So the condition will become false. So I am saying that condition is becoming false. It can again continue. I am saying.
No, madam, I didn't get you.
So here in if condition I greater than 5. So if the loop will be repeated. Na? So
Yes, ma'am.
till 10 times it has to repeat. So
Yes, ma'am.
I am saying continue only.
Yes, continue means it will skip the code that is there in after the continue. It will only go to the next iteration.
It will goes to the next iteration. That's why I'm saying it will come to 6.
Yes, madam. But again the condition is if condition becomes true, so again it will repeat the same until I value becomes in the for loop I value becomes 10, then entire loop will be
Okay.
closed.
Okay. Then if I want to use break here.
Yes, ma'am. So
So what?
up to 4 it will print. If the I value equals to 5, if condition becomes true,
Hmm.
so the main difference previous 31 this one is it is not going to iterate through all the I values. It is only whenever the I value becomes 5, then it will come out of the loop.
Okay. So you are saying that it will not print the remaining one.
Yes,
Are you sure? Okay. Check it once.
yes, ma'am.
I
I
say
will
it
write a
will print
program
a
now itself.
break. It will print 7, 8, 9 also. And continue. You say correct. It will stop. I'm saying continue. Continue means it will again check the condition. So it will stop it. Okay.
Madam, I will write the
I
program now
only skip.
itself.
Yes. Okay. You try it later. Okay. Can you share and write one program for me to print the Fibonacci series? No need to enter from the keyboard. Just you can declare it for 5. Little bit, make the font little bit.
Okay,
That's big. Let's see.
the even number is 1 or 0, it will return, I mean, it will print the 0. If it is 2, it will print the 1. For the remaining numbers, it will print the sum of the previous numbers.
Okay. So I want a one program. So in your name Kiran
Yes.
Kumar, na? So how many K's
Yes.
are there? How many I's are there? Can you write a program by using collections?
The collections.
Yeah. First take a
Counting the
string
number of
characters.
Yes, I need to count the how many number of K's and
K's
A's.
are, for example, K equals to 2, I equals to 2, R equals to 2, A equals to
Yes.
3, like that I need.
I think we can use uh, uh, by using the carrier condition.
So, okay, try it. Without using collections also you can write it. So I ask, so what is collections first?
Uh, Collection is a group of entities. Like array, we in that we only store particular data type. The collections will store multiple data types. Like we can store strings and integers combined together.
So if you want to use char at, so char at what it will do?
It will read the individual letter. I mean, we need to convert the first string to arrays.
Okay.
Uh, from there, we will iterate the array, and in that we will make a one if condition using string dot str dot char at I is equal to if k is, then we will increase the count of k count. If it is equal to a, we will increase the count
So
of
if
a.
you want to check each character, so in alphabet we having 26 characters. So you are going to
Yes.
writing the condition with 26 characters. So
So
it has to check the condition now. You are saying that you are going to taking in the array.
yes.
So I'm taking the in the array. So you are going to check with char at. So you have to check char at of k where, in
I
which
mean,
position it is
uh,
there. So it is at the
yeah,
0 position.
yes,
So
yes,
next
ma'am.
k is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position.
So yes, ma'am.
So you are going to checking char at what it will is going to do. It is checking the each character position.
Yes,
So
ma'am. But we will just increase the count of the particular. Initially, we'll initialize the for k count equal to 0, a count equal to 0. Then if we found the k value, then we will increase the count.
mm, okay, how you are
It's
going to check where is k? First question. So char at what it will do? It will say that it is at the 0 position.
yes,
So what you are doing, you are saying that you want to be increased by its count. So you have
yes,
taken one variable count plus plus you have taken. So what
Yes.
it will do? It will, from the 0 position, it will move to the
Next
in the
question.
loop. It is going to be moving to the next position, and it is checking whether there is an OK. So it will repeat it till the 6th position, and it will be added. So K is
Yes.
OK. Next I is there. For I, how you are going to repeating?
For I also we need to make one more if condition. I mean, if
That's
it,
why I'm saying we having 26 characters. So you are
yes,
going to be repeating for the 26 characters.
for
So it's
collections,
not
I
the
will,
correct. Kada?
yes, madam. It's become somewhat
So
lengthy
that's
code.
why I ask you to use the collections. Collections flow. What are the collection types we having?
Uh, Array list,
Hmm.
linked list,
Yes, array list, linked list.
and hash set, hash map and hash set.
So whenever they ask you about the collections, so what you can say that collection is a collection of elements. So we having list set hash maps. So
Yes,
they having a lot of things. So first you have to explain the list. So list is a collection of elements which we having a array list and linked list. So array list is nothing but it is a collection of elements which having the index position. So linked list is a collection of elements which having the address of the next
right,
element.
yes, yes, yes.
So set in we having the hash set and
Hash map,
hash tree.
hash tree, yes.
Hash tree, hash map is a different types of collection. So where main difference between the list and set is a list is a collection of elements which allows the duplicate elements. Set is a collection of elements which does not
That include
allow
the
the
duplicate
duplicate
elements.
elements. So
Yes,
hash set which allows the null value, hash tree will not allow the null value. So hash
yes,
map, so hash map is a collection of key and value which having a key reference and value reference. So I have given you some pictorial image, whatever the
yes,
elements we having.
yes, 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 madam.
So you can go through that pictorial image.
Yes, madam.
So what is the main difference between the final and finally?
Finally, is a keyword, and finally is a uh, type of it's like method type. Finally, if you make it as a before the variables, the value of it we cannot change.
So can you make
Whereas
main as a final?
when as a final.
If I make main as a final, what happens?
Yes, we can. No, we can't, madam. We uh, if you make a final as a main method, then we can't do overriding.
Yes, correct. So why? Because main method is the main part of the Java execution part. So whenever the execution will be started, it will goes to the main method. So main method having some standard public static void main we having. Can I make the static method as final?
No, we can't make it as a final because if you make a static, then we again the same thing. Uh, I mean, for class, madam,
One I have declared one method, static method. So what is mean by static method?
static method means it will be created uh, without invoking the object.
Okay.
So
Yes. Correct. It we can't able to we can invoke a static method.
without creating the object.
Yes. So then
So For that also, if you want to make it as a final, then we can't able to extend it to other classes.
So if we declare as a final also, it will not impact. Why? Because it is mainly why if I declare as a static method, it is globally referring. So
Yes, ma'am.
if so globally reference means belonging to the same family. So if I make it final means what is the use of static method? Okay. So
Yes,
use
ma'am.
our as final పెట్టినాం అనుకో అది వర్క్ అవ్వదు స్టాటిక్ మెయిన్ రీజన్ ఇస్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ టు రిఫర్ గ్లోబలీ సో అది
Yes,
రిఫర్ అవ్వట్లేదు సో అలౌ చేయదు కూడా నాన్ స్టాటిక్ మెథడ్స్కి యూస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు
yes, ma'am. It's a bit confusing.
ఇక్కడ కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతుంది టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ థింగ్స్ ఎందుకంటే ఇంటర్వ్యూ విల్ నాట్ ఆస్క్ యూ డైరెక్ట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ సో how you are following your agile methodology?
Agile methodology, we are following the Jira test management tool. In
Agile methodology lo Jira na test management tool Jira methodology agile.
yes, sorry, agile methodology means uh, uh, in agile methodology we'll have a for every sprint we'll have a one version. We'll give one version to the customer to start his business, and we'll if there is any changes are required, we'll try to implement them in the next version.
Okay. అంతేనా మీ అసలు మెథడాలజీ మీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్లో హౌ యూ ఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్ నా క్వశ్చన్
For example, if you take any project which have a four main requirements, in that the developers will be assigned for each individual requirement and will develop only the basic requirement in the initial stage. I'm missing some.
నేను చెప్పాను 4 మెథడాలజీస్ ఉంటాయి వీఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ద స్ప్రింట్ ప్లాన్ స్ప్రింట్ రివ్యూస్ డైలీ స్టాండప్ మీటింగ్స్ అండ్ sprint retrospectra. So sprint plan is nothing but what work we are going to be do throughout our sprint. So what we are going to be released to the customer in the uh, after completion of our sprint. So sprint reviews, so what work we have completed, so we are following the dashboard for that one. So how much work we have completed, so it's going to be reviewed by the lead. For that one we having a daily stand-up meetings. In daily stand-up meetings we are going to be discuss what work we have completed, what work we need to be completed in the upcoming days, what we have completed yesterday, what we are going to be do today, we are going to be discussing that one. So sprint retro is nothing but the what work, what are the blockers we having, and what are the improvements to be taken to improve the
The next
quality
sprint.
of the product.
Yes.
Okay, so this much is okay for you.